I don't know why the connection's weird.
Well, the connection shows good now.
Okay.
It,
Yeah,
It
I
sounds
guess it's
good.
maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna try to turn on my camera, and if it gets bad again, I'll turn it back off.
It looks
Um,
way better than before.
yeah. And out of the 4
cool.
bars of Wi-Fi, you got 3, which is always good.
Oh, then now I 4. All right, maybe my computer just need a restart. I usually
Now
turn it off. I don't know.
we talked
That was
about it
weird.
now, and it kind
I
of
turned it off.
glitched a little bit.
Yeah. It's okay.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
what we can do is let's talk about the documentary first. That way, just in case you have to drop out because it's too choppy, we can still do it. We get
Alright.
your information out there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
All right, guys. That was a little behind the scenes.
I think it's just gonna keep going. I think it's just gonna keep going up and down. Honestly.
Yeah, it's all good. Let's get this going then.
Awesome. Gotta love connections.
Archive Podcast. Yeah, I love.
Yeah, but who the hell cares about wildlife anyway?
Right. We're over.
So Scott.
Mr. Scott.
Yep. I said before we started, I said that I was going to start my own religion. It's only about smoking and drinking, and Mr. Scott's going to be what we worship, not who we worship. But that's it. All right. Hey guys, welcome in.
Oh.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Welcome to the Nerd Archive Podcast. My name is Louis. With me, as always, I have Yadi, Lola. Today we have a special guest, Dane from Big Beautiful Diz on YouTube. Was that too loud, Dane?
Yeah, it was just a little bit.
Oh, it's because I'm eating my mic.
I'm my hearing aids in right now, so it was. Really
That's
loud for
good.
me.
That's good. All right, hey, Dane, how are you, buddy?
Good. It's been a long time.
I know we haven't had you since probably season 1.
2 years ago or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 2022. You know, it was crazy because I went on to the YouTube channel today. I was like, you know what? Since I'm going to be on the show, let's re-listen to some of it. And the first recommended video was Dane from Big Beautiful Diz. I was like, wow, did I time travel? And it was
You
no,
did.
2 years
It's probably
ago.
because I knew that
Wow.
who it was.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
that's
like,
weird.
wow, that was cool.
This guy's a narcissist. Let's put him.
You know me so well. You know me so well.
YouTube knows your algorithm. He knows how you search yourself a lot.
It does.
Yeah. All right. For those that did not listen to that episode, Dane, introduce yourself and tell the audience, like, you're a brand new guest. What is your channel about?
All right, so I'm a brand new guest. So let's start at the very beginning. I was born March 25th, 2004.
Social security number?
6:07 p.m. No, I'm kidding. No, Big Beautiful Diz is a theme park YouTube channel that is a celebration of the history and legacy of specifically the Orlando theme parks. We get into California a little bit as well. And I have a huge project coming up. When you guys are listening to this on Friday, it will be today. But if you are listening live, it's on Friday. I have a huge documentary coming out called Beyond the Glass, the WDW animation building. It's all about the magic of Disney animation attraction and how that kind of changed over the years, and the Walt Disney Feature Animation Florida studio. And it's told through the perspective of actual animators who worked at the building and employees that worked at the building. So it's quite an interesting watch, if I do say so myself.
So are we going to get any laundry out, or are you going to keep it Disney rated?
Well, I mean, what are you looking for necessarily? There's a few things. There's a few things in the doc, specifically towards the end, that is people are not very happy with a certain executive. And it's not the executive that you're thinking of. It's not like a CEO or anything. It's the head of the animation, the feature animation at the time. So there's something said, not horrible, anything said about him. I had to cut a few things because they didn't like the guy. That will not see air. But other than that, there's really nothing
Obscure or
really,
anything like
yeah,
that.
it's really not that kind. I didn't really want to make that kind of film. I wanted to make more of a celebration of this place and something that didn't really badmouth anybody specifically or told a lot of good stories and a lot of good things about the studio. I didn't really want to air dirty laundry or anything like, because a lot of these people are former employees, still work in the business. I didn't want to ruin any opportunity for them, you know.
Right.
So you have to be careful when doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome that you did that, because a lot of documentaries they want to grab the views and they just go with the worst thing that you can say about people.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely. There's a point in the documentary where a story is very funny, and it gets a little adult story. I mean, kids wouldn't necessarily get the humor of it, but I'll kind of spoil. And there's why this studio is so special, because it was in MGM Studios or Hollywood Studios. And what was so cool about it is the attraction. You can go into it and look behind the glass. That's why it's called Beyond the Glass, and see these animators working in real time on like Lion King and Aladdin and Beauty and Beast and stuff like that. So because there were tourists, there, you know, occasionally there would be a pretty girl, or, you know, something like that. And there was a lot of young animators at this place. A lot of them were working on their first ever movies. A lot of them were single and a lot of them were men. So there used to be like a code word that would go around the studio when there was a pretty girl in the tour corridor. And this code word would like make its way all the way around the floor. So everyone knew that to look for this girl whenever there was someone there. So that's a pretty funny story.
that's funny.
That's a little non-Disney, but
Right.
and there's a few things like that where it's funny in the context of them being Disney cast members, but it's not really like, you know, anything horrible. You know what I mean?
So the good thing is that you're doing a documentary about Disney, but you're steering away from how Nickelodeon did. So that's also good.
Yeah.
That's also good, because we don't want that.
I'm not trying to trash the company or anything. There's a person that's actually in this that currently works for Disney, so I had to be careful with that. I actually had to get it cleared with them.
Right.
Yeah, so I had to be careful with that, but everything's all good.
That's awesome. That's a huge project, and I wish you the most success with this project, and I hope that that's the one that makes you blow up.
Thank you.
Because you've been working really hard on YouTube.
A year. A solid year just working on this project alone.
Right.
So yeah, it's been a while.
So that's good, and I've seen that your views are climbing, so that's also good. So good.
Yeah, they
It's
have.
good to know.
I think the last month was like 2,000 something views accumulated.
That's
and
good.
That's low for me. I'm actually at a down point right now because, understandably, leading up to this, I haven't been releasing like big content.
Right.
You know, so yeah, and like I said yesterday on my we did a Patreon episode with Scott that I do for my patrons. And I said on there that I'm probably going to be taking the whole summer off, you know, after this thing comes out, because there's just so much to do. Even after the thing's released, there's a lot to. There's a couple things that are still in motion, opportunities for the doc. So
That's
I still
awesome.
have to nail those things down. So I'm going to be taking a break after this, and yeah, but yeah, I'm excited, very excited
awesome.
for Friday.
Do you guys have any questions about this documentary? Like, what do you think? What do you expect from this or anything like that?
This is something that you did on your own?
For the most part, I had some people help me out. I had somebody help me with story outline. I had a researcher who helped me because there's not a lot of information known about this thing, so we
Right.
really had to do a lot of digging. So there was somebody that helped me with that, and then once we did the research, obviously, then it went to the story and outlining what I wanted to highlight throughout the thing. And
Right.
yeah, so somebody helped me with that. I had a poster and thumbnail artist, kind of like an art director, executive producer for it. So
Nice.
it's obviously low budget, because I don't have a lot of money, but yeah, it was not 100% just me there. I had a team.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
all talented
very
people.
cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and since it's a story about something that not a lot of people know, it's gonna catch a lot of people and like, oh shit, let's watch this.
Yeah, and that was just something really important to me while picking the topic, was doing something that has not been covered 1,000 times before, because
Especially by this is.
yeah, and yeah, it's something that hasn't been told, and something that can not only get a lot of views, but something that it's very important to people as well. Because sometimes the things that aren't covered, like the lesser known things, are the stuff that's most important to some people. Because it feels like for these animators, it feels like their home. It feels like their thing that they solely created, and to an extent they did.
Right.
And yeah, so I as soon as I found this topic, I knew it was going to be a home run for a feature documentary. And I was like, I got to make it because no one else has. you
Right.
know?
That's
It's a
awesome.
story. It's a story that needs to be told.
Heck yeah. And Lola, do you have any questions?
No, just excited to see it.
Yeah. Like I said, I hope that it brings you a lot of success, and I hope that we get to see other projects like this, that you get to maybe not have
Yeah.
to find a job. And
Yeah, not for a long time probably, but I wouldn't be surprised if another project, like this came up, maybe like
Right.
a not a hour and 40-minute long film.
right.
Maybe shorter thing maybe.
Hey, you can do it in like a series.
Yeah. Well, this was I thought about this actually being a series because there was just so much stuff, but I was like, I don't know if I can hold people's attention that long, for a whole series about just the animation boating. As fascinating as it is, it's like as much as in depth you can get on some of these topics, there's not. You got to start thinking about quantity over or quality over quantity. You know what I
Right.
mean? If I'm going whole episodes on just Mulan itself, like, come on, man. You know.
Right. Yeah,
Gotta
trust
think
me.
about that kind of stuff,
We know we found out that sometimes when we just talk about one topic in one episode, it just it's
Just trashing the dough.
yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much, and eventually it'll rip.
Yep.
Yeah, pacing's probably to me the most important thing for a film, and probably one of the hardest processes of filmmaking is getting good pacing, because you don't want to go too slow, but you also don't want to go too fast because people can miss information.
Right.
You don't want to leave key things out because the information, but people who are watching don't. It's a very difficult process, but something that's very important, and I think that it's probably the most important thing for filmmakers to think about.
Right.
To me, at least,
All
and not
right.
even just filmmakers, podcasters even and just YouTubers, you know.
No, it's. I feel like it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a great video. I can't wait to watch it. I can't wait for Friday, or if you're watching this on or listening to this on the podcasting platforms, it releases today. Do you have a specific time that it's coming out? You said
6 p.m. EST. There's
Perfect.
gonna be 6 p.m. EST is the actual release time, and then the before that at 4 p.m. EST, 4 or 4:30 PST or EST, not Pacific, Eastern Standard Time. There's going to be a Q&A panel with me and then two of the animators.
That's awesome.
That is featured in the film. So look forward to just to get people excited a little bit, and then transition right into the premiere.
Heck
It's
yeah.
gonna be cool.
And
Fantastic.
I don't know if I missed this, but where people can see this?
It's free on YouTube. YouTube.com/C/BigBeautifulDiz. It'll be free up there. And yeah, so I hope everyone enjoys it.
Yeah, I can see you've been working on it for a year, and you're very passionate about this. So I think that people will enjoy it as much as you did making it.
Yeah.
So, and for those that are watching this right now, all the description, the link will be in the description down below. That way you guys can find it. Just
Oh yeah, there it
look
is.
for Dane.
I see it.
Yep.
Awesome.
And all right, thank you, Dane, for blessing us with that information.
No problem.
And then, so
Thank you for asking about it.
of course. But since you're here, we have a topic for tonight.
Sure.
We want to know what you guys' favorite movies that are, or favorite unpopular movies.
Favorite like underrated movies?
Yeah.
I guess you could say.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can say, "Hey, I remember from my childhood this movie, and it was amazing," and people are like, "Oh yeah, I watched that." And a lot of people don't remember those movies. So, and this topic was brought up by Lola, so I would like to give Lola the first pick of her favorite unpopular movie.
How many are we doing here? How many movies?
Let's do our top 5.
All right, that's cool. I already have 4, so
Perfect. Fantastic.
You're almost there.
yeah, and then one more.
All right.
Are we gonna name and then talk and then name and
Yeah.
then talk? Okay, cool. Tomb Raider. Both of them.
Those are good movies.
Those are good movies.
Yeah. Those are great movies, actually. Fun
Not
fact.
talked about.
The guy that plays her dad in Tomb Raider, it's actually her dad.
Nah.
And because they don't have the same name, a lot of people don't know that. But Angelina Jolie plays Tomb Raider, or Lara Croft. And the guy that plays her dad, it's also her real dad. And he's also in the National Treasure movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's the dad.
Plays a lot of dads.
Yeah, he plays a lot of dads. Not grandfathers.
No,
He's
no
up
great.
there.
Not yet.
Yeah. It's funny that he doesn't play a lot of grandfathers, and he's up there in age. But then what's her name? She played Sabrina the Teenage Witch in the early 2000s. I can't think of her name.
I was barely conscious in the early 2000s. I don't have an answer for
Yeah.
you.
Oh, thank you, Steve. Melissa Joan Hart.
Yeah. Steve is on the case.
Steve is on the case always.
Yeah, so the reason I bring her up is because she has a new movie coming out, and she plays a grandmother.
Oh.
Yeah. Exactly.
All
Exactly. All right. Moving on.
Yeah, please.
Just throw him out there. Yadi, what's up?
I'm trying to think of movies that I actually enjoyed. I have to pull up a list so I could just kind of remember what was in the early 2000s. Uh, Actually, I watched a lot of the first scary movie.
Oh, yeah, those were good.
Those are good movies. Yeah.
I watched it too much and enjoyed it too much for how stupid it was.
Yeah.
But I
And
can
how
still
young
sit
we
down and
were,
watch
though.
it. I know. I think we were teenagers. What year that came out? Hold up.
I think the first one came out in like 2003.
2000.
Yeah.
2000?
2000s. I was 10.
I was 10.
I guess I wasn't a teenager.
Yeah, no, we were young. And we understood, and the messed up part is that we understood those jokes.
I know. Yeah, like I can see my son at 10
Yeah.
understanding a lot of things. So I guess, like it's going to be something we're going to go through anyways.
And
But yeah,
and the first one, I have one scene engraved in my brain.
the first
The,
scene.
the bathroom stall scene.
Of course.
Yeah. And then the second one, is it the second one or the third one with the clown, the kid, or not the kid, but he gets dragged under the bed, and when he comes out,
He's like,
you see something wrapped around his neck.
the clown's neck.
Yeah, and it's a dick.
Yup.
That's just hilarious. Like, I can't believe that those movies wouldn't fly today.
No.
No. Yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't been canceled. Especially the fourth one, the bit about Eminem when he pulled his hood.
Oh.
That shit wouldn't fly today at all.
I guess people understood that it was just a joke. And
Right.
Different times, I guess.
Mhm.
My Travis comment. Officer Doofy.
Yeah.
My ass.
It's funny because there's this one kid at my job that he started running for some reason, and the only thing I can remember was Doofy. And I'm like, why do you run like Doofy? And he's like 18 and he didn't know what it was. And I'm like, oh man. And then all the older generation just started laughing
Right.
because they understood. It's like, what? The next thing you're gonna pull out is a vacuum cleaner? For those that don't know, that's a joke in the movie. Dane, you're 18, right?
I'm 20.
You're 20 already?
Yeah, I'm 20. Yeah.
Oh, you- what?
He was here when he was 18. Remember?
Yeah.
That was a joke that time.
Shit. Man, you're
Yeah.
growing up so fast.
I am.
Right.
Ryan still thinks I'm like 14. So.
You look like it. You just got a beard.
Yeah, I shaved the beard. So. Yeah.
Wow. Dane, what about you?
Most of looking at most of mine are actually like mid 2000s, early 2010s, because like you forget a lot of those movies, you know. But my first one, I had to mention because it's underrated, but it's not necessarily like forgotten or unknown, really. But if you're not like a Disney fan, you don't know what it is. It's my favorite movie of all time. A Goofy movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's my whole childhood. Like that was the movie. I have it. I still have the tape, the VHS tape. I like wore out the VHS tape. Like it won't play anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you heard the theory about who Max's mom is?
Oh, I have, but I forget what it is.
Jessica Rabbit.
Oh, I've not heard that one.
So
I heard a different
in
one.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit, there's always, you know how she's obviously married to Roger Rabbit,
Yeah.
and she's always talking about how, because Roger Rabbit, he's always asking her, am I funny? Am I funny?
Mm-hmm.
And she's always telling, yeah, well, you're funnier than Goofy. You're funnier than Goofy. And there's a scene where he asks her about, am I funnier than your ex-husband? And I told you before that you're funnier than him. So the whole time they're talking about Goofy, and then this scene later in the movie, he asks about her husband, her ex-husband, and she says, "Yeah, I've told you before that you are." So it's just that's where they're going. Plus, there's a scene in the older like Goofy cartoons where
Yeah.
they actually show his wife and she was a redhead. So
Yeah,
that's
and then
where
it's yeah, but that Goofy movie timeline is a little bit weird because of the baby in those cartoons is not canonically is not Max,
right.
but like the wife is somehow canon. It's
Right.
like it doesn't really make any sense. But yeah, that movie was like it still is my favorite movie of all time. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, that's a classic. That's a cult classic that became recently a cult classic.
Mm-hmm.
Like a
Yeah.
lot of people are paying attention to that movie a lot now.
Yeah. So much to the point that Max now meets at Hollywood Studios full time. So
Right.
yeah, you can see him there. It's
Right.
amazing. It's such-
There's one that Lola mentioned earlier that I'm going to steal it. Van Helsing. Van Helsing is a very underrated
Top
movie.
tier.
Yeah. And Hugh Jackman.
Watch it. It's been a minute.
Mhm.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman did a great job as Van Helsing.
Agreed.
And it was in the middle of that whole like underworld timeline too. Like there was talks back then that before the internet, but like that Van Helsing was gonna meet underworld. They were gonna do a crossover and at the same time as like Freddy versus Jason, which is also one of my favorite movies, and it's very obscure. A lot of people forget that it exists, and a lot of people hate on it. But I loved it. I loved it a
Yeah.
lot.
'Cause it was not like the other, obviously, like the other Jason movies. So
No, but
it was way out there.
it was a lot
Literally.
like Freddy's movies because he was always just trying to be a sarcastic, funny, I'm gonna kill you anyways. So that's where this whole humor in Fred versus Jason came in. But I was 13 when this movie came out. I actually went. It was in a school field trip. We were done early, and everyone's like, "Oh, let's go to the movies." So we went to the movies to watch Fred versus Jason. It's great. Lola, you got more. I know you do.
Oh, I have so many. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh yeah, I like that movie too.
Yeah. On that
That's-
same route of Van Helsing.
Yeah, that's a great movie. You know
I
what?
wanted
Just
that car.
start throwing the movies out there.
Yeah. Joe Dirt.
Ooh,
Oh, that's
We
great.
just
one.
talked
That's a
about
great
that
one.
at work.
Yeah.
Love that movie.
Yeah, because I
Isn't a
haven't
new
seen
one coming
it.
out?
Is it?
I think they greenlit the movie.
I wouldn't be surprised because there's a lot of movies that flopped, and
Yeah.
then people liked it after. Like it typically happens.
Yeah.
It's happening, I guess, with Madame Web
Yeah.
right now. I haven't seen
And-
it yet, but yeah.
On that note, movies flopping and re-releasing or doing a new one. Do y'all know that Amazing Spider-Man was in theaters? It came out on May 2nd.
All the Spider-Man movies have been coming out since April 15th. I've been saying this. Y'all just don't fucking listen.
What? What'd you say? Sorry, I
Say
wasn't
you's a
listening.
bitch.
But it was also the only one that got it made less than the other ones in the re-release.
That's
So
interesting.
yeah, and it also made less in the original release.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so it's crazy because it was Amazing Spider-Man 2. And they re-released it on the same day it came out, but years ago. And there's a lot of speculations now that because it flopped again, because they saw how much like people wanted Andrew Garfield to be Spider-Man again. And they're like, oh, let's put it out there and see if we can actually make up some money that we lost. No.
Yeah, it's so
It
weird
didn't.
how they're putting like all these older movies in the movie theater again when, like I mentioned before, people have better systems at home. I'd rather
Yeah.
be at home. So I don't know
And
why they're doing all
Yeah,
that.
that's the thing. That's the thing with the Spider-Man releases because I really wanted to go to a couple of them, but at the same time, I was like, I can just watch this at home. Like,
Right.
it's not like people have seen it already. It's not going to be like going back in time to 2002 to watch Spider-Man 1 again.
Right.
As if people are going to have maybe have fun reactions to seeing it on the big screen, and like people like my age who didn't see it when it came out in theaters,
Right.
it would be cool. But again, it's a movie that you can see at home. Now,
Right.
I like when they put the Star Wars releases out. That
Mhm.
was for me because I went to see. I didn't see Phantom, but I saw the Return of the Jedi one
Yeah.
last year
For
and
the 40th anniversary.
That was cool. Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, so Sarah and I, we used to do that a lot. Whenever they re-released a movie from like the 90s or 80s, 90s, whatever, we would go because it's movies that we didn't get to, that we're very big fans, but we didn't get to enjoy them in the theaters. So as I think it was last year or 2 years ago, they released Jurassic Park
Yeah.
and we went to see it. And it was awesome seeing it on the theaters. I was like, oh, this is great because I feel like I went to see it, but I don't remember. So
I probably was scared. So
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
So seeing it on the big screen was good. Actually, our first date was going to see Dirty Dancing in theaters.
I remember that. Our first date?
Yeah, our first date. Our Sarah's and I first date. Yeah.
I remember that, Lewis. That was a magical night.
Yeah, that was a magical moment. We danced to Very Dirty. But yeah, it depends on what the movie is.
Yeah.
Travis said, I'm gonna read one. Jason Goes to Hell. That was a good movie. The Last Jedi. I'm sorry. That's it. Howard the Duck. Maybe. That's very obscure.
Yeah, it's not really that great. I think people overhype that movie.
Yeah, it's like
Because
the
of
Mario
Guardian.
movie, the Mario Brothers.
God, Mario Brother, Jesus.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters 2 is all right.
Mm-hmm.
It's not anywhere near the first, but it's okay.
Right. Lola, what else? What other movie you got?
Lake Placid.
El Cocodrilo.
Yeah.
We used to call it, or Lola used to call it the crocodile because that's
That's what you see in the
it's
movie.
what the movie's about. A crocodile, but it was
Just
Lake
like-
Placid and
The haunting was Chimney.
the chimney. It was Liam
Yeah.
Neeson.
The
You ever
only
got-
reason why I called it the chimney, and it's because the one scene I remembered is Owen Wilson getting his beheaded in the chimney.
In the chimney.
Oh, I just seen one. Chicken Run.
That's a
Wow.
good movie.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
I
Chicken
watched
Run's
that a lot.
good.
Chicken
So
Little.
Chicken Little is good too.
Fuck Chicken. No. No.
Yeah.
No, I like the claymation
man.
thing. Chicken Run. I need to watch the latest one. I haven't seen that one, but the first one was.
The Dawn of the
Pretty
Chicken
fun.
Nugget.
Is that the
Is that
name
what
of
it's-
it?
No, yeah, I think
Dawn
so.
of the Nugget, yeah.
It's
That was
funny.
pretty
I'd
good. It was
never
okay.
and I'd never liked the claymation movies.
No.
Oh,
I think
come
Chicken
on.
Run is my favorite one from.
Dude,
those.
you could put
Right.
basically any Aardman movie in this category. It's like Aardman movies are super underrated and not well known, but they're so good. Like
They'll-
Flushed Away is fantastic.
Washed Away is really good too.
I heard that was
agree, yes.
shit.
What?
Is it because it was flushed away?
Yeah.
You better be making a joke.
He is.
I
Um,
haven't
He's just
seen it.
not good at them.
But this is the
Pirates
whole point of
and
this.
Misfits, that was pretty good.
This
Wallace
is the
and
whole point
Gromit.
of this list.
Yeah, that's true. I just saw one too. Well, Wild Wild West was a good one in my
Oh
opinion.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
like
was
that
good.
one.
That was good. Even though well, I think it was good, but I recently watched it and I'm like, this is shit. There's a lot of movies that I sit down now and I'm like, oh, I remember this movie was a banger. I'm gonna sit
Yeah.
down. I'm gonna watch it. As soon as I started watching it, 10 minutes, and I'm like, what the
Why?
hell? Back.
What about
Oh.
here's one for you, The Scorpion King?
Oh, the Scorpion King to me was
I
it
like
was
that.
it was to me it's underrated. It's also, I mean, he hasn't gotten a lot better in his acting, but it was his beginning of acting.
So it's funny because I think I like that more than the rest of the stuff that he's in.
Okay, you shut your mouth. Why am I black and white and black and white?
Acting.
Do you see that?
No.
No, I
No,
think that's just your colors.
no. On
Yeah,
my side, I'm
maybe-
black and white. Oh, it's
You got the Steamboat
Probably
Willie
just,
filter on right now.
yeah.
Just your
yeah.
monitor.
2024 non.
But I'm the only one that is black and white.
living
I
in
don't know.
1920 over there.
Yeah, apparently. I'll watch it again when we're done and see if it happens.
Yeah. After
Um,
this, he's gonna put on his top hat and get out his cane.
I'm not gonna talk for the rest of
Hello, my
for the
darling.
episode.
My honey.
It's a silent movie from now on.
The silent podcast.
Yeah. Man, I just had one that it was very like. I like the National Treasure movies. A lot of people like.
Those
It's
are
not that they're
good.
hated.
That's one of my favorite movies, especially
Yeah.
the first one.
Yeah,
Really good.
like I can sit down and watch that plenty of times.
That's one of the
Uh,
few movies that I bought. Actually, I bought it when we were in the college program.
2008, bro.
You
I was like,
there's
I got
two
money.
movies-
Yeah.
There's two movies that always come to mind for me when you talk about underrated movies, but they're the kind of underrated movies that people say they're so underrated. It gets to the point that they're just
That it's not.
rated. Yeah,
Right.
like it's like they're so underrated, but everyone says that about them. So it's like
Right.
it's not underrated if everyone says Spaceballs and Emperor's New Groove. Some of the greatest comedy movies ever made, in my opinion.
I agree with Emperor's New Groove for sure.
You didn't like
Yeah.
Spaceballs?
It's just, it was like the equivalent to like scare movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
I see
I
that.
agree. Yeah, I like that.
Just in the 80s.
Yeah, yeah.
But the Hunchback of Notre Dame is very underrated.
Yeah, there's a lot of Disney animation that we can go into
Yeah.
for this for sure. Hunchback's
Spy
a great
Kids,
one.
Spy Kids.
the first one.
Spy Kids is really good too.
Shark
Yeah,
Boy and Lava Girl.
No.
I love that movie.
No,
I pass.
I'm kidding.
I
Hatching
love that
Pete,
movie.
Hatching Pete.
it's
Dude,
not.
I've-
It's not the worst, but you know.
Lola, have you watched it recently?
Shark Boy and Lava Girl? No.
Okay, watch it recently and maybe you'll agree.
I will never not enjoy George Lopez as a little ball of lightning. Okay?
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
It's funny because I enjoyed him more in Blue Beetle as the like rad uncle.
Oh, yeah, he was pretty good in that.
Yeah, I think that's top tier George Lopez, like from back in the day. Because his show was still kind of edgy, like George Lopez.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah,
dun, dun.
exactly.
It's a good show.
Let's do a couple more and then let's
Sure.
jump in. I have a list for you guys. So,
Sure. I've got a few more.
okay, perfect. Lola, do you have one more?
I do. I have Chronicles of Riddick, which is good in my opinion.
I feel like he's not the best actor, or okay. He's not a great actor.
No. Stick with that same line.
Yeah, he's not the best actor. He kind of plays the same character no matter what timeline or where in space he is. But I watch all Vin Diesel movies.
Okay, hear me out. I take it back. Pitch Black is better.
Yes. Oh yeah.
But the character kind of suits him because he's very like grunty and like not many facial expressions, and he can't do facial expressions to save his fucking life. So
And it's not about family.
it is not about
It's
family.
not about family.
But on that same note, I will watch every Fast and the Furious movie multiple times. And and the only way I can defend these movies is that I see them as if they were video games.
Video game you cannot play.
Every
video game you have no control over.
well, it's like every movie that it's a progression in the video game. The more like
It's an hour and a
weird
half
it gets.
level.
Right. Pretty much. But you start with like normal cars and then all of a sudden you get to like hyper cars. And in space, which we don't talk about that.
The thing that gets me about Fast and the Furious is they try to present them as if they were like real and that this stuff could actually happen. That's what's so funny to me.
Yeah, no, that whole space scene, we're going to talk about it. That whole space scene, there was no way. There's no way. The only good thing that came out of that was the cameos from the actors from Tokyo Drift, which Tokyo Drift to me is very underrated.
Tokyo Drift is probably, at least in my opinion, the only good Fast and Furious movie. I really do not like that franchise.
And that's completely understandable. I can see why.
Tokyo Drift is the only one I don't like.
And to me, Too Fast, Too Furious is the worst.
I like Too Fast, Too Furious.
And I enjoy it. I'm just saying, out of all of them, and there's some that are out there. But
Like in the space.
yeah. Too Fast, Too Furious to me is the lowest one. And if I can skip one, it will be that one.
So this movie that I have in mind is not underrated, but I watched it a lot of times, and it's Castaway.
That's a good movie.
Yeah,
I've never seen Castaway.
Wilson!
So you never get that reference?
I know the reference. That's all I know.
Why do you think he calls it Wilson?
Because it's a volleyball that says Wilson on it.
No.
I mean, she's
Spoiler
partly
alert.
correct. She's
I wanted to see if you paid
He's
attention
right.
to it.
Yeah. Dane, give us a couple more.
Sure. I got one that came out last year. It was in, not even last year. It was in like December, and it's already out of theaters. It was in theaters for like a week. It felt like, Iron Claw. I don't know if you guys saw that movie.
I saw it on the. I mean, I haven't watched it, but I saw it that it was on the
Oh man,
on streaming services.
it's so good, so good. It's about the Von Erichs.
Okay.
And
Oh,
their
yeah.
story their story is very tragic. So I won't spoil the ending, but yeah, it's such a good movie.
I gotta watch it.
They were wrestlers, right? So their entrance music was their entrance song was your tag team, and their entrance song was Tom Sawyer by Rush. So how they show their like rise to fame is they play that song over like a montage of them winning. It's just so good. Such a good.
That's with what's his name?
Yes, that guy.
Zac Efron.
Zac
Yeah.
Efron. Yeah.
Zac
Troy
Efron
Bolton,
is
if
so
you
good
will.
in it. You would
What'd you-
not know if you didn't know Zac Efron. You wouldn't know it's Zac Efron. It's
That's when
Yeah,
he drastically
his jaw is
changed. Well, not just his jaw, but his physique. He got
Yeah.
bigger, for sure.
Well,
Okay.
the first time that he got like that big was for Baywatch, because he had to compete with The Rock. He didn't want to be overshadowed, and he still did. You have
That
another
movie
one?
actually
Great,
flopped.
great one that some people haven't seen. It's one of my favorite movies of last year. I was very mad that it didn't get an Oscar nomination, and probably will this year because of the cycle. And then the rest of them are animated, just because I love animation so much. Rango. I don't know
Oh,
if
wow.
anyone
With Johnny
remembers
Depp?
Rango.
Yeah, I did like
Such a
Rango. Yeah.
great one. It's a twist on a western, and the way
Yeah.
that they show the way that they show the town, and they twist, like I said, twist on a western.
Right.
It's a unique twist. And it's
Say it
just
one
so
more time?
fun. Rango.
No, Twist.
Twist. Yeah.
Yeah,
Twist.
got it. That's a tongue twist.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but him like faking his life is just such a good movie. Another animated one that's underrated, Surf's Up. I don't know if anyone remembers that one. 2006, I think.
Yeah.
Sony
Penguins?
picture. Yeah, penguins, surfing penguins. Sony animation, I think. That one's a good one. Love that from my childhood.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, mockumentary.
Yeah.
Such a another funny twist. There you go.
Yeah, Twist
And
and Shaft.
then this is a rare, probably the best Disney direct to DVD movie. Lion King 1.5.
That was good.
such
That was
that's a
okay.
good movie.
That's underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one talks about that movie. And
It's
it's
not-
a direct to video.
Yeah.
It's actually a good movie. It's shocking.
It's not the best of the franchise, but I think that it's still really good.
Yeah.
Because I think that the second one is better. Not than the first one. I'm just saying, out of those two. Because nothing is better than Lion King.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Okay.
One of the best of all time.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're going to stop right there with the list. This is a good list of movies. But there is... Last week we did the top 20 Marvel actors. And that was a great segment. So I wanted to bring you guys today a top 10 Star Wars characters. Starting with number 10, Grogu. Do you think that he should not be in the top 10? And this is disclosure. This list is just about movies or TV shows. They're not none of the books, none of the comic books, no legends, no nothing.
I think top 10, maybe not top 5. I think 10 might be a little low. I would put him a little bit higher just because I like Grogu a lot.
Okay.
But for sure, I think top 10.
What about you guys?
Probably not top 5.
You go. Yeah.
No, I mean he's one of the more famous characters for sure. In the latest years, and I can see why it's top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
and you said, Dane, you said that he should be higher than 10, but not in the top 5.
A little bit.
Let's see if you still feel the same way once we go through this list.
Okay. I'll explain my reasoning afterwards, just for
Yeah.
that opinion.
Perfect. Number 9, Chewbacca.
Way too low.
Yeah.
Yeah, way too low.
That I agree with. I think Chewbacca should be top 5. What about you guys? You think that he is number 9, lower, higher?
I would put him top 15.
Okay.
Since
Respectable.
it's accounting for the shows, not just the movies, then there's a lot of really good characters that I feel like could be in that top 10.
Right. I
Yeah.
can see
Love
that.
Chewbacca, don't get me wrong, just not top 15.
Yeah, I see him
Honestly,
top
for
10.
me, personally for me, he might be top 4. I'd love Chewie.
Hey, I think that anywhere you put him in this list, depending on your reasoning, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But he has to
Can
be
we
in this
give
list.
like a top 10 list at the end? Do we have enough time for that?
Let's see when we get to number 1, and we can do a rapid fire.
Yeah.
Maybe a top
Yeah, that's
5
what I
instead
mean.
of a 10.
Yeah. No explaining either. Just real quick.
Okay, perfect. Number 8, R2.
I can see the pattern of non-talking characters
Yeah.
in the bottom of the list.
Yeah.
I would put C3PO below R2. I would
Okay.
probably put C3PO here instead of R2. And probably wherever 3PO is, I would just switch them.
Okay. I think that
I don't
R2
like
is more
3PO.
there because he's a fan favorite, as in, like, he's sarcastic in his own
Yeah.
way.
Is iconic too. It
Yeah.
just represents
yeah.
Star Wars.
Right.
Definitely top 10.
Number 7, Mando.
He's gotten
Lower,
famous.
higher, there.
Is top 20, if anything.
Yeah.
To be fair, the picture that they chose is not really Mando, is
Let's go.
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro
Yeah.
Pascal. So I think that
Pedro
alone,
Pascal, number 1.
I think that alone put him on that spot.
Yeah. I don't think Mando is even the best character in the show, let alone number 7.
In the first 2 seasons, yes, and then
That-
third
that's-
season,
That's true.
but also in Boba Fett, they saved the show by bringing Mando in.
Yeah.
No, they killed the show. by bringing Mando in.
Yeah. Number 6, Han Solo.
I can see
see
that.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you
it
think he's
makes
a good
sense.
spot?
I think so. Yeah, middle
Okay.
of the list. I mean, unless there's anything like, there's probably something like really, really bad in the top 5.
That's
Just
what
the
I'm
way that
like,
you're talking, I
I'm
can
waiting
feel
to
it.
see.
You know,
I haven't seen the list yet.
you're probably
There
some
were-
like Guido or something.
When I was looking for this list, there was a top 100, and I scrolled down all the way to the top 10, and I saw that one, and I'm like, not a big fan of this one. So I looked one more, but then I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to choose this one, not look at it, and just go with it. We're in the top 5. Number
Alright.
5, Ahsoka Tano.
All right. Like
Number
the
3.
they have it like as
Which one?
Rosario or
Well, the picture is Rosario, but I think that they're more going with
just with the character and not the actors.
Yeah.
Okay.
because the Mandalorian they chose the picture there. It's Pedro
Right, that's what
Pascal,
I
but
was-
just because he's
yeah.
the only one that's played the character.
Right. Also, you shouldn't show his face, but that's okay.
Yeah, well, they broke the rule.
Apparently it's not. Okay.
So Lola, you think she should be number 3?
Number 3.
Okay, I don't know who your number 1 is, but we're gonna see if you're right. Number 4, Luke Skywalker.
All right. Yeah, he had to be. He had to be top
He has
10.
to be in the top 5, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If he wasn't, I was gonna say pause and
Yeah.
let's look for another list.
Yeah.
Number 3, the Yoda himself.
All right.
Okay, 2 is or 3 is good.
No, not
Top
for
10
me.
somewhere.
Okay,
He's iconic, iconic as well. Like,
right.
so.
That's 4.
3
No, yeah, 3.
was number 3 was Yoda.
Yeah, number 2, Obi-Wan Kenobi,
Okay, I see that.
Yeah.
and y'all know who number 1 is.
Darth
Is
Maul.
it Daddy Anakin?
It's Darth Vader / Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where he should be.
number 1's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, looking back now, to me, I would have taken Yoda out and put Darth Maul at number 3.
For
No.
me personally, Yoda's my favorite character. I'm putting him at 1.
Okay,
I love Yoda.
and it's
I think-
respectable.
And I think he's not top 10 because it was only in the first movie and then the side.
In the shows
Those
and stuff like
shows,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he did have his own arc in the last season of Clone Wars.
Right.
I mean, he
but
was in
not-
the show
not a lot-
itself, but
But not a lot of people watched it.
right. But
At
Darth
least
Vader,
at the time. Like now, it's getting more.
Right.
I'm guessing it's more popular now than before too. But
Sure. Yoda was only in 6 movies, but he's not that big of a character.
yeah, but also he in out the 6 movies, 2 of them he was a Force ghost.
That's
he's
true.
a wise man.
Yeah. All right, quick, because Lola has to go.
All right.
Top 5. Lola, what's your top 5?
Anakin, Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, Padme, Qui-Gon.
Okay. That's a good list. Yadi.
Yoda, Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, R2D2, C3PO. At least that's
In that order? 5, 2, 1?
well, 1, 2. Sorry, 1, 2, 5.
Okay. So Yoda's your number 1?
Yeah.
Okay. Dane.
I like it. I'm gonna go 5 to 1. Number 5 is oh my god. Jesus, what should I put in number 5? I'm gonna put Han at number 5.
Okay.
And then number 4 is Darth Maul. And then actually no. Number 4 is Luke. Number 3 is Obi-Wan. Number 2 is Darth Vader, and then number 1 is Yoda.
Okay. I'm going to go 1 through 5. Darth Maul, because he's my favorite character. Darth Vader, Anakin. That's 1. Obi-Wan. Qui-Gon.
That's 2.
And since we're doing just movies and TV shows,
Oh, I forgot about Qui-Gon.
Lola said it.
Yeah, I know.
Y'all don't listen
It's
to
on
me.
the
I say
spot. It's
that.
on the spot. So
Yeah. But since, like I said, since it's movies and TV shows, Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Because Ahsoka has a good arc and and I didn't even put Luke Skywalker on there. Did I? I don't think so.
No.
No.
I was gonna put Max Rebo at number 1, but I couldn't bring myself to do it.
All right. So with that being said, I think that's our list. It's a very fun list, I guess.
Yeah.
A lot shorter than last week's. Last week's
Right.
episode was 2 hours and
The whole
13
episode.
minutes.
Yeah.
But after all the silence deleted was an hour and 45 minutes, which is great.
Yeah.
All right. So
on the actual list, I would probably switch Mando and Grogu, just because we all enjoyed Mandalorian, right? See 1 through 5, 1 through 3. So I mean, to me, Grogu is the reason that show was such a massive success. I mean, he's what's driving the story forward. He's basically the main character, because the main plot revolves around saving him.
right. And I can see that. I think that in the popular eye, Grogu was more popular than or Baby Yoda at that point, because he didn't have a name. He was more popular than Mando, but I personally watch a show because of The Mandalorian. His whole arc was great, and to me, I wanted to see where this whole Grogu thing was going, but I was more focused on the Mandalorian.
Agreed.
Sure.
Same on my
Yeah.
side.
I wanted to see more. Actually, I was a little bit more disappointed that they didn't give us a backstory on their species.
Yeah.
Then, if they would have done that, 100% that he would have taken the number 1 spot for me. Not on this list, but between the two of them.
Yeah, it's a new show that's coming out. It's called the Grogulodeon, and it's
Whatever.
gonna be the best.
Yeah. Okay. Grogu and Yoda meet for the first time. All right, guys. that is it for this episode. Thank you, Dane. Dane, again, where can people find you?
YouTube.com/C/BigBeautifulDiz is where you can find me.
Right, beautiful. So make sure that you go on there, watch his documentary at 6 p.m. East Standard Time.
Yes, sir.
And if you're listening to this episode on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any of the other ones, it comes out today. If you're watching today, it comes out Friday. Or if you're watching live, it comes out Friday. And just make sure you're going on all of our social media. Yadi, what can they do?
Oh, wait.
Click all the things.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Lola, for today's topic. It was fantastic. We enjoyed it a lot. We'll see you next week. This was the Nerd Archive Podcast. Deuces.
Okay, bye.
Yeah.